going on?
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right. Welcome everyone to another episode of Ultra Running News Network. And I think, we're recording this right now as this storm in Florida, Hurricane Milton, has made landfall. And it's a whopper. So we just want to say to everybody in Florida, any of our listeners, I hope you're staying safe, and I hope everybody in Florida is going to be okay. This is a bad one. So
yeah. I right before I jumped on to record with you, I was actually watching a little combination of CNN, the Weather Channel, and stuff like that. And on the uber positives, I think it's a positive side of it. I guess it kind of depends on where you're at. It sounds like it kind of weirdly made a kind of a hard right and ended up making landfall right at Sarasota. And it had really died down.
okay.
It died down to a category 3, which is absolutely insane. If you listen to those words coming out of your mouth, died down to a cat 3.
Yeah.
So it's still doing. And like Tampa got lucky because all the surge will go south. So Tampa's getting like just pummeled with rain and wind. But unfortunately for Sarasota, they took it on the chin. So hopefully they pull through it okay. And now I was watching this wild Weather Channel video where it was a dude up in Tampa, and like he had a wide stance, man. Like he was racing all the way out, and it's just going nuts. And he's trying to talk, and rain's hitting him, and he's like barely able to talk. And then he's like, all right, well, and like, hey, I got my colleague down in Sarasota. He's in the eye of it, and they went down to the dude in the eye of the storm.
What?
And dude, what? He was just standing out there, no rain, no wind, and he's like, hey, this is like uber eerie. He's like, it is just dead, thick, humid air. Like you can just feel the weight. And he's like, but it's just uber still. There's no wind. Because he was like into smack dab. He's like, now here's what's crazy. He's like, we're at halftime of the show. The second half of this going to still pass over me. But he had like a baseball helmet he had been wearing up until that point, basically. Like I was like, dude, these guys are idiots. But
those guys are crazy, man.
Yeah.
The storm chasers, the weather channel. Yeah. Oh,
I was watching.
You want me to go where?
Yeah. I was watching a national, I don't know, NAIA, I think. I don't know. But they have like a C-130 that they fly into hurricanes and get readings. Like I've been watching videos. Yeah. I've been watching videos of this like aircraft like fly into storms. I'm like, dude, I have flown on C-130s. Those things get bounced all over the place. Like they are like, as far as like big aircraft, they're small. If you're getting thrown all over the place in those stupid things. I can't imagine flying one of those damn things at 150 mile per hour winds. So, anywho, like you said, really hope everyone in Florida is being safe. I hope the best for everybody, and hopefully we'll get to see them, and everything will be okay at the end of all this.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's only category 3, but the storm. Like the range, I read earlier today that it had doubled in size overnight. Yeah. So it was literally going to cover the whole peninsula with storms. And it had spurned its own tornadoes. So like a tornado hit earlier in Fort Myers. Like my aunt who listens to the show actually has a place down there in North Fort Myers. I hope everything's okay with her, with her place. But yeah, man, just it's crazy storms. So hope everybody's okay. All right, well, let's get into some ultra running news, and we'll start off with race results. And the first race result that that, of course, we want to look at is the GOAT, Courtney Dauwalter, does it again.
Just out there killing it, man. Just out there absolutely dominating. She is ridiculous.
Just low key calling her shot at a UT, like one of the biggest UTMB, races in their series, Nice Cote d'Azur, that Walmsley won last year when it was a golden ticket qualifier or golden ticket race for Western States, which is not this year. However, Courtney, when she started this race, I thought I read somewhere that she was like going for the outright win. And there are
that's crazy.
And there, I mean, I'm sure she's always going for the outright win, but to actually have, put it out there is awesome. Because, she obviously almost did it. So there's, elite ultra runners from France, and, France has just been dominating the world stage on 100 milers. So Courtney goes over there and just dominates. She got first place female, and I think she was like maybe 45 minutes to an hour behind the leader at one point. And she just kept gaining on him. Christopher Clemente Mora. And I'm like, I was watching that and I'm like, God dang, she's going to catch this guy.
Pulling him in, yeah.
Like he's lucky he didn't get into a low spot in the last, the last huge downhill, I think like 7 mile downhill back to the finish or something like that. If he got into a low spot there, she would have passed him, because they were both just steady in that last part of the race. Neither one of them like sped up or slowed down. And Courtney, Clemente Mora finished in 21 hours and 22 minutes and 14 seconds for first place overall. And Courtney finished in 21 hours and 35 minutes. So she was only in 57 seconds. So she was only 13 minutes behind the leader. She got second. And by the way, this was her 5th win of the year. She also has victories at Trans Gran Canaria, Hard Rock, Mount Fuji 100, and Swiss Peaks 70. So these are all like highly competitive, tough races. Courtney just cemented her legacy, like she's a dynasty, dude.
Well, what's wild is so if you just hear, if you're just like, oh, she took first women's, she took second overall, you hear that, you're like, okay. Then but when you really start looking at like how dominant she was in that time, right? Like you said, only 15 minutes off of the first place overall, only 15 minutes off from him, right? But then you look at, oh, she beat the second place dude, third place overall, by nearly an hour.
Yeah.
By nearly an hour, she beat that dude, right? Then you look at third place dude was another 30 minutes behind second place. So she beat the third place dude by 90 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, we ain't done yet. Because now, all right, well, what'd she do against other women? Oh, she only beat, second place woman was 5 effing hours behind.
5 hour difference.
5 hours. Dude, 5 hours is just like.
Yep.
Like that
just shows the level that she is at. It's insane. It's insane. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I can't imagine Well, I guess I can because I've literally had my ass kicked this bad in the past. So when I think back to when I was doing competitive sports, right? Like all the competitive sports I did all over all the years. I mean, yeah, I've been absolutely drummed by people, right? It just happened. Like you think about, like that is demoralizing. Like to beat someone by 5 hours, like you jumped out on them like now. You know what I mean? Like they probably came into the first couple of aid stations and like the people's crew was already like, let's race this for second. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they were already like minus a DNF, you're not catching court. Like just hold on to second.
Right.
It's just nuts.
Yeah. And by the way, her 21 hour and 35-minute finish is not. This is no easy course. This is very technical. Lots of roots, lots of rocks, from my understanding. And the weather. So they went through rain. She said she even saw snow. And it sounds cool though. Like at a certain point, you get to you crest the last hill, and then you see the sea, and you see the Nice, France. So you see the city.
It's insane, man. It like I don't know. It's hard to wrap your head around that level of dominance. You know what I mean? Like it's just really weird. It's next world.
I feel like she's still in her prime too. Like, she's gotten better. She's gotten better.
Knock wood. Let's not jinx anything here. But like, how many more years of like sheer court dominance do you think we have? Like,
I mean,
2, 3, probably.
I mean, I was gonna say like 5 at least.
Like it's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it is so effing fun. So
anyway, she's just having fun, which is the coolest part about it. She's not like serious, or she's just like, hey.
What?
It's hard to fathom.
On the note of her always looking like super happy and smiley at aid stations and stuff like that, on the note of that, and on the note of her looking like she's having fun, I'm trying to think back on, I don't know, like on the years that we've had live feeds and videos and stuff like that. What is the deepest into a race that you can kind of quickly recall that she's been pressed, right? Like by another woman.
One that comes to mind was the year that she dropped out of Hard Rock because she had stomach issues. Like Sabrina Stanley was pushing her. But that was before she got her nutrition and stuff figured out. So,
but even that was
a while ago.
3-4 years. I mean, like 4 years.
Oh, that was
ago?
at least 4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's crazy, right?
Yeah,
like,
she's got it dialed in now. She's got her nutrition dialed in. Like I don't know, she's making it look easy, and it ain't easy. Second place male was Nicolas Cercier from France, 22 hours 28 minutes, and second place female and Rika D'Amates from Italy, 26 hours 33 minutes, and third place male, Vincent Fabre, France, 22 hours 56. And Agatha Lovell from France for the ladies was third, 26 hours 37 minutes. There was a few other races at the Nice races. The Roubion 100K, Valentine Lacroix finished first for the men. Ingrid Duogun finished first for the women. And there was a 50K too. Jonathan Albin first for the men, and Sylvia Nordskar, which I've heard her name. I think we've mentioned her name before, was first for the women. So cool stuff.
Yeah.
Congrats to Courtney again. Just so impressive. I mean, we don't even have to say it anymore. It's just like, it's almost like we talked about this before. It's like when an athlete's just in their prime, like you could put money on them for first, like almost every time, and feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, so. I'm taking her over the field every time.
That's right.
Every time.
That's right. Okay. So next race we want to look at is Saddles 100. So Saddles is put on by one of the coolest ultra running personalities out there, Michael Versteeg, Whiskey Man. Like we've talked about him before. If he's a great ultra runner. So like if you go on YouTube and look up Michael Versteeg, Whiskey Man, and like watch that documentary, it's like, this is a cool dude, man. So anyways, he started putting on this race, Saddles 100, in Prescott, Arizona, where he's from. I think he kind of lives off the grid out there in Prescott. And this is the second year for the race. And I believe that course, it's like, I think it's like a 50-mile loop and then another 50-mile loop, or if it's the same loop, just on the second 50 miles you go in the opposite direction this year. I think that's what it was. Looks like really awesome, Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah.
Cocodona 250 goes through there. I imagine there's some technical stuff out there. Probably some pretty nice stuff as well. So
yeah.
And I think he makes the race really cool as well. Like he has musicians and playing out there. He was like, he needed a few musicians. He was trying to recruit some more guitar players or something to fill some spots, like I saw. But looking at the 100-mile results for Saddles, Patrick Cavanaugh was first, 21 hours, 40 minutes. Look who's second, an Ohio boy, Chad Trumbo.
I want to add, not just an Ohio dude, like honest God, one of the nicest, most humble, really, really fucking good dude, like a really good dude. So I love the fact that Chad got to take second out there.
Yeah, and he threw down pretty awesome time too, 22 hours, 25 minutes. And I think that race has a lot of climbing. I'm not sure how much.
It's funny you said, because I was just going to say, dude, the fact that Chad ran that in 22:25 tells me that thing's got some elevation and or some technical trail, because Trumbo can knock out. He's done Mo 100 in sub 20, right? Like I feel like he's hammered that in the past. So. Yeah, this thing's got to have some climb to it.
Yeah, just looking at some of the I don't know, the Reddit comments to see if I can find out how much climbing it has, but
I do like the idea. This feels like a pretty minimalist kind of like a race. Like there's not a whole lot of details on their website. Like you're just turning up for this and like ripping it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing there's got to be like at least 20,000 feet of climbing, but that's like total guess. Anyway, so let's go back to the results. And first place female was Stephanie Rosebaugh, 25 hours and 30 minutes, and second place female was Abigail Storer, 30 hours and 58 minutes. So there was 40 people that finished the 100-miler.
So not a big race at all.
No, it's still growing.
Yeah.
In the 50-miler, Barry Wecker, 7 hours, 50 minutes for first. Jeremy Pope, 8 hours for second. And in sixth place, Ohio's own
dude,
Jay Smithberger.
Listen. old Jay going out there and telling them youngsters what's up.
That's
I
right.
mean, Jay is not a spring chicken. But again, here's what's really cool about Chad and Jay being cool and being buddies and all that kind of stuff is like they're both essentially the same dude. I mean, like Jay's the same way. Jay's a super nice dude, really funny, super smart guy. Just a good dude. You know what I mean? Like, I got a chance to talk to him a lot this year. Forget the PR. It's just like super nice guy, super nice guy. I think that's this year. Forget the PR. I don't know. I recently talked to him.
Yeah.
So, again, just know more. Like it really does. Just makes my fucking day to see. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Jay is great people, man. He's one of the first people that I met when I was starting to hang around Forget the PR. And he in the early summer or maybe it was in May. Yeah, in May he was in the Bay Area for a wedding, and he reached out and we met up for a run over in the Headlands. And I was like, he's fat. He was going at his easy pace.
Yeah.
Thank God, but I was still. It was fast for me. He is an awesome runner, man.
He is. Yeah. Every time I see him come into a race, you're just like, are you even trying right now? You know what I mean? Like, you can just tell when that dude wants to throw it down, he can absolutely burn it. Like, super cool.
He was telling me the story about like how he got into 100-mile ultra. Like I think he had only run like a marathon, if I'm not mistaken. Like he ended up, signing up for Mohican 100, and I think he was in the lead or second place, and he dropped really late in the race, like, or something. I don't know. I can't remember the specifics, but I just remember he was like, I learned some lessons.
Took them lumps that night. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he came back and won it his second year, or maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. He's an impressive dude. So anyway, it's really cool. By the way, first place, second place women in the 50 miler. Are they related? I mean, surely they're related, right? Are they like, I'm assuming they're sisters. Are they twins? Like how close are these two to one another?
Well, if we look at Ultra Sign Up, we might be able to see their age, but Melissa Ostaszewski, 9 hours, 21 minutes for first place female. Sarah Ostaszewski, 9 hours, 35 minutes. I'm guessing they're sisters. They're both in the same age group.
Yeah, they're for sure. They're sisters.
Twins. Let me see.
All right, I'm looking up Sarah. You look up the
Melissa.
Now we're invested. This is good listening for folks.
Yeah. So participants, Melissa Ostaszewski, there she is. Age 33.
Sarah is also 33.
They are twins. Dude.
They're twins.
Unless they're cousins.
Like Sarah has her photo up on her ultrasound page too. So I know.
Well, Melissa's photo is it's like a landscape photo.
Oh, okay.
She may be in it, but
did you looked up Melissa? Because Melissa also did, and I think these two go and do the exact same races together. Did Melissa? Because Melissa went and did High Lonesome earlier this year too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Got 5th place.
Overall or what?
No, division. Women.
Okay. So 5th? So Sarah got her in that race. Sarah took 3rd for women.
Nice.
So Sarah, and then what's wild is did Melissa go and do Cruel Jewel?
This year?
Yeah.
No, she did Wasatch.
Oh, wow.
Which,
Wow.
by the way, it was only like less than a month ago. It was only a month ago.
Well, while your sister was just out there fiddle farting around in Wasatch, my sister was absolutely fucking snatching souls. And now I remember this. We talked about her at Cruel Jewel. She won Cruel Jewel. That's why that name rang a bell to me. Well, also we probably talked about that. Yeah, for sure. Because we for sure talked
She
about her
won
high
Cruel
lonesome.
Jewel.
She won. Well, women. She took. But shit, she's fourth overall at Cruel Jewel.
Yeah,
But
no, I mean, yeah, that's
fucking
awesome.
yeah. So these two sisters, man.
Yeah,
fucking,
well, yeah, Melissa got fifth at Wasatch and for the women, so that's pretty impressive. There's a lot of talent out there too.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Sarah sounds like she's a billy goat. Sarah also, now this is last year, this is 2023, but 2023 she won RA.
Okay.
URA, whatever it is. She won
URA, we all ray.
We all ray. Yeah, for IRA, URA, we all ray for URA.
Yeah, that's a lot of climbing.
She won,
dude, 40,000 feet.
Yeah, she's a monster. Anywho, and there you have it, folks. The Osvikowski sisters podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, congrats to the twins or cousins. We don't know, but
it's gotta be twins.
It's gotta be.
I want it to be twins. Like that.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Well, saddles 100. I'll try to find some more out about this course.
Big congrats to the Possums for going out there and representing.
Yeah, Chad and Jay, nice work. Next race we're gonna look at is the Cuyamaca 100K. And this takes place in Julian, California. And I believe this is the same area, maybe even some of the same trails as the San Diego 100. And Greg Miller from the Bay Area, Half Moon Bay, got first, 11 hours and 2 minutes. And then German Verduzco from Chula Vista, which I believe that's down by San Diego, isn't it? Chula Vista?
Yeah. So, yeah.
11 hours and 16 minutes. Michael Klein, Salt Lake City, third, 11 hours, 51. And let's see, first place for the women from Mexico, Catherine Castro Villacana, Guadalajara, 12 hours, 49. Her ultra sign-up ranking, 100. Cara Olivito from Exeter, New Hampshire was second for the women, 13 hours, 5 minutes. And Jamie Baldwin from Alpine, California, third, 13 hours, 21 minutes. All right. Moving on to the Spooner's Cove 50K. The reason I want to talk about this is because it's in Los Osos, which is pretty much in my side yard, not backyard. So I just moved to this area, and these are some of the trails that I definitely want to go check out. It's Montaña de Oro State Park, and I was excited to see that this race, Winners Cove 50K, has 6,400 feet of climb in 4 climbs. So that's good. That's good for me to know for training when I need some climbing, just to go over to Montaña de Oro State Park. So, and Coastal Trail Runs puts this on. They put on a lot of races in the Bay Area, actually, but they must travel down for this one. Wyatt Barrett, I didn't even know that this race was going on until I was looking up race results on like Monday. I'm like, oh crap! If I would have known, I could have volunteered. But I don't know. Maybe next year. First place male, Wyatt Barrett. Chip time 6 hours 18. And first place female, Michaela Yorger, from Los Osos. Michaela is from the little town of Los Osos where the race takes place, and 6 hours 21 minutes. So I'm guessing that she trains a lot there.
Probably knows that thing like the back of her hand.
Oh, guaranteed. It's right. It's literally in her backyard. Luke Matas was second male, third overall from Thousand Oaks, California, 6 hours 29 minutes. And second place female, fourth overall, Hannah Weichel from Santa Cruz, California, 6 hours 35 minutes. Santa Cruz, the home of the Lost Boys.
Oh,
remember that movie?
I did. It's funny too. Jen and I just watched an old school vampire movie. So yeah, like that was a
Lost Boys was a good one, and it was a fake. It was a fake name. It was like the what was the name in the town in the movie? Santa Clarita or.
So I'm trying. Why am I drawing a blank on who the heartthrob in that? Like who was the hot dude that was in that all the girls were crazy about back in the day?
Was it? I mean, I think Kiefer Sutherland was in it, right? The dude that played the main guy. I don't know his name.
Yeah, there's someone right at the tip of my tongue I can't think of. We will get comments about
but
this.
But Corey Haim and Corey Feldman are in it too. They're like the Corey Haim is like one of the main characters, and Corey Feldman is one of the Frog Brothers.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's been forever since I've seen that movie. That's almost worth going back and watching again just because it's Halloween season. It
totally is. Actually, I just saw it like not too long ago, and it holds up, man. That's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Anyway, all right. Except for the only thing, this is really quick. The only thing about that movie that's really kind of funny and quirky is that dude playing saxophone on the boardwalk at the beginning. It's so ridiculous. This like muscle bound guy with the saxophone, like
big huge, yeah. I gotta go back and watch that.
Anyway, so this is the Spooner's Cove where I'm guessing where the race starts and everything, and then it goes up into the mountains. Okay, next race is DC Peaks in Kaysville, Utah. I've heard of this DC Peaks 50 race before. Grant Barnett was first for the men in 7 hours 35 minutes. Zachary Garner was second, 7 hours 47 minutes. And first place female was Sabrina Stanley, who we were just talking about. Sabrina, former Hard Rock winner, the year that Courtney dropped. Sabrina's from Silverton, so she trains in the San Juans, 8 hours and 52 minutes. And second place female was Marie Young from Salt Lake City in 9 hours and 42 minutes. Next up is what I just read this the other day, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it said the only 100-miler in Illinois. That can't be right.
I don't think it is right because what was that point to point we were just talking about earlier this year? Remember the point to point?
Well, we just talked about one in Nebraska, but you're talking about something else, right?
Well, the Nebraska one was a 200-miler.
Yeah, they had a 100-mile option, but
I'm talking about the one where we're like, wait, this sort of rails to trails. Why were the times so fast? And someone hit us up on YouTube. It's like, it was wicked hot. And then we're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And remember, and then they also said that they have really forgiving times because they want first timers to come out to it. That race, that was in Illinois, wasn't it?
Well, dude, where's Tunnel Hill?
Isn't Tunnel Hill, Indiana?
No.
Now, I could see this race being Illinois' first 100-miler.
It's in Vienna, Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I could see this being their first 100-miler, maybe.
Yeah, it's not their only 100-miler, but Hennepin
is a fast 100-miler.
It is very fast. It's been going on since 2015. It's a rail trail. Just look at that. It's like a little gravelly rail trail. Like, man, like your hip flexors might be hurting from all that running.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, there's no climbs to take a break. You got to force yourself to take some walk breaks on that one. And I'm sure later in the race will be a lot of walking, but so Hennepin, like I said, it is a rail trail. Maybe is Hennepin a point-to-point? Maybe it's the only point-to-point 100-miler.
I don't know if it's a point-to-point though either. I thought Hennepin. Oh wait. Maybe Hennepin is the point-to-point. I was also thinking. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yes, it is point-to-point. Okay. That's what they were talking about.
Maybe. Okay.
Okay, now we're on to something. Okay, so Hennepin 100 rail trail, flat, fast. Point to point, which is really cool, actually. Looks like first overall was Reese Slobendot from Barrington, Illinois, and a blistering 7-minute and 56-second pace for the 100 miles, 13 hours and 14 minutes, like over an hour better than second place, Brian Martin, who was 14 hours and 29 minutes. And that's still an 8:41 pace. Can you imagine doing a sub-8 pace, though, for 100 miles?
Dude, no, I can't. I can't imagine doing a sub-8 for a fucking
mile. 1 mile.
Yeah, for a mile, yeah.
Same.
Yeah, that is...
third place, Andy Vicious from St. Charles, Illinois, in 16 hours and 15 minutes. Let's see. First place female, Wendy Cross from Park Rapids, Minnesota, 19 hours and 10 minutes. And second place female, Brittany Uronic from Elyria, Ohio.
Hey.
Go Ohio. 19 hours and 46 minutes.
Who was it? What's her name?
It was Brittany Uronic.
I don't know if I know that name, but that's Elyria's way up there. Elyria's that's up by the land.
Yeah, that's right. Who just got beat by the Tigers today?
Oh, by the by, I don't know if you know this or not, but
all right. Next race is one that we like to talk about because it's an Ohio race, and this is one of the more low-key races that's kind of like, it's down in southern Ohio. It's on some trails that people don't talk about. Mm-hmm. And I haven't even been on any of these trails. I know Rob Powell used to live down by these trails.
Rob Powell's been all over these trails.
Yeah, and like, are they like fire road trails or? I can't remember.
I don't. So what's crazy is I haven't been on these trails. Like I will fully admit, this will sound really sad and pathetic, but like the weird thing, and like this, but just for our listeners who don't know this, Ohio is one of those weird states where like you can pretty much get to from Columbus, you can get to anything you want that is northeast of you or northwest of you. even southwest of you is pretty easy. But once you decide, hey, I want to go to the southeast part of Ohio, it gets really hard, really fast. Like it is rural.
Yeah.
And so Shawnee is like, it's way, way down there, way down there. I one time looked at going down and getting some miles in with Rob Powell, and like he had offered up. This is years ago, and I was like, dude, for me to leave my house, it's like, I mean, it's almost a 2.5-hour drive down where it was. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd literally have to stay the fucking night down there and then get up and run the next day. And he's like, well, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, that's, oh man, but it is really, really hard running down there. Really hard running. Because I think it is a ton of single track with a little bit of fire break road. I do not think it's a ton of fire break road. I think it's a lot of single track and tough single track.
And I think Michael Owen is the race director.
That's correct.
Who's a sub-elite ultra runner.
Isn't it interesting how, I think you and I have actually talked about this in the past, maybe even on the podcast. It's really interesting how like Michael Owen is so close to being where, like, at least perceptionally, like, at least from my vantage point, I feel like dudes like Michael Owen is like right there.
Yeah.
And I've often wondered, like, is he as close as it looks like he is? Or is there, like, once you start getting that fast, that it becomes like those minutes become hours? You know what I mean? Like how hard is it to make that final little jump over? Or is Michael Owen like, dude, I love the life that I have, which he probably does. He has, I believe he works at a shoe store down there or owns a shoe. He has a nice life down there in Athens. Athens is a great little city to live in. You know, I mean, probably has the world by the balls. I've always just wondered that though, because he is a really good runner.
Yeah, he won Mohican 100, I believe. The year that you and I did it, I believe. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if he did, it's only because we were fucking off in the back.
That's right. That was a crazy year. It was pretty hot. And then he does really well in the east, races out east. Mm-hmm. You know, like when he comes out west, I think that the competition is just really strong at a lot of races out here. So, but he's a great runner and seems like a great dude nonetheless. So,
seems like an unbelievably good dude.
And I've heard really great things about this race that Shawnee Trail runs. There's a lot of climbing in these races.
Dude, I will stand on this hill right here, right now. Like I said, full disclosure, I've not laid a single foot on any of those trails. The closest I've ran to these trails is down around Athens. There's a state park down there called Burr Oak State Park.
Yep.
Burr Oak State Park is one of the kind of the cooler things that they do at that park is there's Burr Oak Lake. There is a marathon, a trail marathon ran there every year. It's and like what's amazing is it's like a perfect 26.2 and it's trail. It's weird as shit. It's a perfect loop almost. There's like an itty bitty little like out and back, but like
is that the Bigfoot?
No, it is called Bobcat Trail Marathon.
Oh, Bobcat, that's what it is.
Yep.
I knew Bobcat. It started with a B.
So I wanted so we've vacationed down there quite a bit, and I've ran like parts around that lake. One year I got this wild hair up my ass, and I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and run the 26 miles on my own. I'm gonna pack some food, I'm gonna take my time. And dude, because it's around a lake, you're constantly going up and down the little wadis, like the little draws coming in and out from the lake.
Yeah.
It is a tough little run. My dumbass did it after a heavy rain though, and I made it all, I shit you not, I made it 17 miles back to the back of this lake. and the road and everything was washed out, and I like to the point where I'm like, I legitimately can't see where the trail is on the next
Oh
side.
my God.
And I'm like, fuck me. I am 17 some odd miles. I'm like, I am getting ready to have a 50K plus. I'm like, fuck. My dumb ass, and pretty much everyone who runs with me can attest, I don't run with my phone. My dumb ass, I am on the backside.
Oh, no.
I'm like, fuck me. I'm like, fuck. And what's funny is like, I'm not worried about me making it back. I am worried about the ass chewing I'm getting ready to catch with my wife for being hours late.
Why are you out there for 10, 11 hours?
Dude, I got so effing lucky. I bumped into this dude in his truck, and I'm like, hey, man. Actually, before I bumped into the dude in his truck, there was this woman walking down because they have like rural, they have primitive campsites out there. And like, here comes this woman with her two small kids. And there's my big, sweaty, hairy ass. I'm like, hey, can I get her? And like, she's looking at me. She stops there, tracks. I'm like, never mind. Like, never mind. Like, I don't even know why I tried. And there's a dude. I'm like, hey, man, like, here's the situation. Here's what's going on. Can you get me back over to Burr Oak State Park? And he's like, how do I get there? I'm like, brother, I have no clue. I was like, I don't know. And like, I have no clue. We had to climb the hill to get up to get cell reception. But anywho, this is a very long story. The only thing I know about this area is running Burr Oak State Park around the lake, right? That's all I know about this area. Here's where I was ultimately heading with this, all the way back when I started this ramble. I will live and die that ultra is the hardest ultra in Ohio.
Yeah, I could see that.
I will say, for that being a 50 miler, the amount of elevation that's in that 50 miler, it's harder than Mo 100. Wait until you pull up the elevation at 50.
So that's the thing. It's such an old school type race that there's no like course information, anything. What's it called? Shawnee 50.
Shawnee 50.
11,000 feet of gain, which is a lot for Ohio.
That's an ass ton for Ohio.
I mean, Mohican has 13,000.
On a 50 miler, dude. On a 50 miler that has that.
Yeah.
And by the way, right? Like and you know me, this is how I always think about these. Like, this is where my mind immediately drifts to that. All right, you're going to tell me, do I have you're giving me either one, right? You're going to tell me, okay, I'm going to run 50 miles with let's just round everything up. Let's say 50,000. I'm going to run 50 miles with 12,000 feet of gain at Ohio, or I'm going to run 50 miles with the exact same amount of elevation gain at Muck. Like, yeah. Listen, I'm here to tell you the fucking 50 in Ohio is harder than the 50 in Muck.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the trails, the trails are technical.
Oh, just going to eat your ass. You're coming out of that thing with black and blue toenails. Like, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, this race is so fucking cool.
So I found a better website for them. And there is more description. It says Shawnee 50-mile and 50K courses run mostly on the backpack trail that loops the 63,000 acre Shawnee forest. Yeah. Besides the lodge at the start and finish, runners will see just one building along the entire course. It's truly a remote and wild forest with 11,000 feet in the 50-mile and 6,500 feet in the 50K. Runners will get an experience unlike anywhere else in Ohio. The 50-mile course also features the only designated wilderness area in the state, which is aptly called the dark side. The 13.1-mile course is a smaller lollipop design that gives runners a sweet and smaller dose of the full 50. So more info on the course page. Dude, just looking at that, if that's like the trail,
dude,
that's all rocks and roots.
It is rugged. It is
nice.
I mean, like I said, I just have Fur Oak to calibrate it. I mean, dude, I have fallen at Fur Oak probably 36 times. Like, and I've only ran, you know what I mean? Like it's brutal down there. It is just, look at that elevation change.
Yeah, so that's what it says. A quick glance at the elevation profiles, and you'll notice the frequency of the uphills. What this course is lacking in long, sustained climbs of mountainous races will make up in the frequency and steepness of the hills. There are very few flat sections along the course, so you'll either be going up or down the entire route. Some say this frequency of ascents and descents can be harder than big mountain races because you'll never be able to get into a rhythm. This will eventually take a toll on your physical and mental capacity. Yeah, so there you have it.
Listen, for wherever our listeners are listening from, I welcome you to come to Ohio next fall and give old Shawnee 50/50 a run. It's rural. Like it is rural. Like It is way the fuck up. Now, when you're done, go to Athens. Here's the thing, because of when it's ran, you can go run that race. You can stay the week. You can watch a OU football game. You can watch Ohio University Bobcats. You can have a couple of the best breweries in the entire state of Ohio are in Athens. You can have some pretty good, like you can have a great night in Athens. It's a cool little college town. It could be a good vacation. That race is going to eat that ass. That race is going to it is. I have so much respect for that race, and I've never. I need to do it one year. There will be no way. I will tell you this, Jamie. I don't think I can physically be ready for it in 2025. Like that's how much respect I have for that race.
All right. Well. Maybe it should be a challenge or a goal for you.
For 2026.
First place male was Tatton Birch from Tip City, Ohio, in 7 hours and 45 minutes. It's pretty good. Brandon Smith, second place male from Otway, Ohio, in 8 hours and 7 minutes. First place female, Tara Maurice from Athens, Ohio. 10 hours and 30 minutes. Second place female, Carolyn Wallace from Loveland, Ohio, in 11 hours and 16 minutes. And let's see.
Golly days. 7:45. Dear Lord. That is blazing.
Doesn't say overall. I was trying to figure out how many people finished the race. Not too many. I would say less than 50.
I don't think it's a huge race either, though.
Yeah.
I would say 41 finished.
Oh, you know what? I think if we go to the Ultra Running magazine.
Well, the one you were just on had how many finishers? There was only 3 DNFs according to this.
Yeah. Let's see. Show all results. Shawnee Hills 100. Shawnee 50/50. Okay, here we go. So in the 50K, there was 58 finishers.
Yeah.
And then in the 50 mile, there was 39 finishers.
So that's giving a little bit different numbers than what's on the website. Not greatly different, but just a smidge.
The 50K, Jared Heights was first, 5 hours and 2 minutes. Brandon Yoder second, 5 hours 37 minutes. Claire Barker was the first place female, 6 hours 29, and Kelly Burt, second place female, 6 hours and 41. All right. Arkansas Traveler, another pretty well-known 100-mile race in Perrysville, Arkansas. Brandon Connell was first, and let's see, 15 hours and 8 minutes. And Ashley Nordell was first for the ladies in 20 hours and 39 minutes. One thing I want to rewind a little bit, go back to DC Peaks 50. The Grant Barnett, first place man and Sabrina Stanley, first place women. They both set course records in that race. I forgot to mention that.
By the by.
Yeah. Okay. The Yankee Springs Fall Trail Running Festival 50K was in Middleville, Michigan. That's an event that's been going on for a while. It was going on when I lived there. Let's see here. I didn't have that as a link, so let me pull that up right quick. First place for the men, Samuel Darling, 4 hours 14. Ethan Klopfenstein was second, 4 hours and 33. And for the ladies, Emily Ward was first, 6 hours 18, and Danny Molinar, 6 hours and 25. All right. Moving on to a new FKT on the Buckeye Trail. The Buckeye Trail is a trail that goes around Ohio. It is 1,444 miles, and it winds around Ohio, reaching every corner of the state, from a beachhead on Lake Erie to a hilltop overlooking the Ohio River in Cincinnati. A hiker can experience a little of all that Ohio has to offer. And, this was self-supported, and I don't know if he was the only one to register with FKT, but he's the only one on here for self-supported FKT for Ohio Trail or Buckeye Trail. And that's Ian Koenig, just said it, 35 days, 8 hours, 46 minutes. So if you look at the map,
8 days.
Yeah, that's a long way. But you see there's like 1 and 2 points where there's like these little loops. Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think you have to do those loops?
I foresee a time. So I foresee this having multiple FKTs, right? You're going to have supported, unsupported, and what was the third one? Supported, unsupported, and self-supported.
Supported, self-supported, and unsupported.
Yeah, you'll have those 3, right? But then you're going to have clockwise and counterclockwise, right? And then you'll also have people wanting to, not do the little loop up there by like Bedford, right? Like, I don't want to go up to Lake Erie.
Yeah.
They'll just cut that little section by Akron, right, and come down.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people not wanting to go out to Whipple. They won't want to go out to the Ohio River there. They'll just cut, Right. And then it even looks like it looked like, how you talk about the hill in Cincinnati that overlooks the river. That's what that little out and back is there where it says Loveland, right? Yep. So you'll have people that if they're going clockwise, they're going to hang that right instead of that left and going down to the lookout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to have all kinds of FKTs of like, well, I may go up to the river, but I'm not going to go to the lake. Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the tricky one about this FKT is there's going to be so many different versions of it where people are going to be doing that kind of nonsense.
I'm guessing for this one they probably did the furthest.
I would hope so.
Route,
yeah,
including going to look at the river.
Yeah,
I don't know, but pretty cool nonetheless.
It's a pretty cool one. I would venture to guess that the section that goes from Defiance County down to like Cincinnati kind of area, down to like Hamilton County, I would venture to guess that's some boring ass flat trail out there. That's out there way out in Western Ohio. That's gotta be flat.
Well, in Northwest Ohio, where I'm from, guaranteed flat. And I think there's some road sections out there. So anyway, so all right, moving on. We got 2 news stories to get to. And the first one, pretty interesting. This guy, Nedd Brockman, he's an Aussie. He's from Australia.
Aussie.
He actually in 2022 he did a record-breaking supported run across the country of Australia. When he was 23 years old, he ran 4,000 kilometers in 46 days, raising more than $2 million for homelessness. He's a former electrician. He's only 23 years old, right? At that point, a former electrician, traveled a mind-blowing 100 kilometers a day, sharing every step of his journey on Instagram. From maggots growing in his toes, from the rain in his body shutting down on him, the Aussie remained in good spirits and updated his journey, inspiring others. So his newest adventure is he's chasing a 1,000-mile world record. So he's running around a 400-meter track for 1,000 miles. The current record is held by none other than the legend Yiannis Kouros in 1988 in 10 days, 10 hours, and 30 minutes and 36 seconds. So he has been at it. Nedd Brockman has been at it for 6 days now, and looks like he's 900 kilometers in. So Johnny and I were doing some math before the show.
The math wasn't mathing either. Like, it took us forever to do that math. So 100 miles, right? 100 miles is 160,934 miles. 160,934 meters. And if it's that many meters, that means he is doing 400 plus loops on the track a day.
Yeah, he has to do 402 laps a day to finish in 10 days. I think we figured out.
Like it's, I mean, I can't even. The other part that was like really bending my mind that I was trying to also rationalize is if he wants to do 100 miles every day, right, for 10 straight days, that means he basically has to do 100 miles in sub 20. Yeah, in sub 20.
Yeah.
Just so he can get a measly ass 4 hours of sleep.
And eat. Yeah.
And eat. So that's the part that's really bonkers is
dude,
how is he doing them? Because listen, it's an amazing story. But I'm and I know we're seeing snippets, right? It's Instagram posts. So, you know what I mean? You're seeing itty bitty little flashes of a dark room. I mean, listen, that dude is not burning down that track. You know what I mean? In the photos we're looking at, you know what I mean?
It's hot.
Oh, it's hot. Yeah,
and
dude,
he's got a bloody nose here. He's looking all beat up. he's got a big road ahead of him because he's 900 kilometers in 6 days. And I think we figured it out. He's going to have to go like 110 miles a day or something for the remaining 4 days. But he does have that 10 hours on the other end. So
it's super weird. Like, yeah, like I just don't understand how he's moving. Like,
looks like he's got his shin wrapped up. Like,
oh, dude, it's absolutely insane. It's fuck. Look, that pace right there.
Yeah.
Homie, I got news to tell you. That looks like me running 100-miler.
And I do also want to say that one of our listeners on our Facebook page did bring the story to our attention. So
it's amazing.
We do really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't. Was it go? Let's see here.
How to
go? Oh, right here. Got one running. One running. That's our friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of his or her name, but
where they're at. But yeah, they've actually brought up a couple of really interesting things in the past for us to talk about and chit chat about.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a fascinating story. But like,
it is, and I have to say the odds are stacked against him, but I hope he can prove us wrong.
Oh, dude, it's a great story. It's super interesting.
Yeah, and Yiannis, that just shows you how incredible Yiannis Kouros
badass Yiannis was.
Oh my God, that guy! He talk about legend. That guy is like the multi-day. Like he doesn't get any better.
Freak. Yeah.
So although like that Sorkin or what's his name? That he's Alexander Sorkin that's setting all the records. But anyway, yeah, that's cool. And we'll end the night on one last story about Sage Canaday posted about on his Instagram the Taco Bell 50K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, they're running through Denver and eating at 9 different Taco Bell locations. Mm-hmm. And I guess they have to do one menu item at each Taco Bell. Can it be the same menu item or does it have to be?
No. And it's like if you turn the volume on, you can hear like he's saying a little bit more about what it is.
The last 10K to not puke and finish strong as an official Taco Bell 50K survivor. I ended up finishing the loop off first in 4 hours and 28 minutes
not allowed
on an 80-degree afternoon in Denver. I roughly consumed 2,200 calories of Taco Bell during the run for an average rate of about 500 calories per hour of fats, proteins, and carbs. Yeah. Big thanks to Steven and Stephanie Ganoza for these video clips and for all their support.
Yeah, so you ate 2,200 calories and 9 meals.
You're allowed, like, there are certain times you had to eat certain things at certain times, but like you had to eat a Crunchwrap Supreme, you had to eat a Burrito Supreme at least once, but but at every stop you had to get something. But those were like mandatories at some point. So I think he was saying that he ate the cinnamon twists at the majority of his stops because I mean, what are we even talking about? I mean, fuck, I could.
That's the perfect race food there.
Yeah, I mean, it's so, but it is. I saw this. I saw my wife. Actually, Jennifer, my wife, was like, "Hey, did you see this thing in Denver?" I'm like, "Are you talking about the Taco Bell?" And her and I actually had a conversation. So it's actually making like kind of like social media kind of news. It's funny, but it really kind of reminded me of when me and Flores used to do the pub 50Ks where we used to hit the different breweries over a 50K.
Yeah. How many did you do?
So we did that 50K thing. We did. I can remember we did that year. We did 2 years. I can remember doing it 2 years for sure. I feel like there's a third year we ran up another there's a third year we ran up Sawmill Parkway and hit spots. But I want to say one year we hit like 9 breweries, and it was
my God.
It was fucking brutal. It was brutal. And it's Flores' birthday. It used to be a thing for Flores' birthday. And I want to say his birthday's in like the spring or summer. So it like, I remember one year it was fucking hot as all hell. Well, one year we started all the way out. And like, again, if you're not from Central Ohio, this probably won't mean a whole lot to you. But we started way out in Gahanna, which is like outside of the belt line in East Columbus. We went from there. We hit a brewery that was basically right underneath the flight path of Columbus Airport, underneath John Glenn Airport.
Nice.
And then we made our way through like really rough neighborhood on the east side of Columbus. Dipped into then we hit like I think we hit Bexley. We went down Broad. We hit like a couple of breweries in the downtown area, and then we made our way over into the Bottoms. Hit a brewery over in the Bottoms, and then made our way back onto the Olentangy Trail, and made our way all the way up to Worthington, where Zaptig Brewery is, way up in Worthington.
Damn.
But even on our way up Olentangy, we dipped off and shot over into Clintonville and hit like Lineage Brewery that used to be there, which it's now Combustion. Hit it, like, I mean, dude, we hit so many effing breweries. That one for me in my head feels like the one that we hit the most breweries. Like, I feel like we really, because that was the second year we did it, and like the first year we hit some breweries the first year. The second year, I felt like people were doing it with us. And so we're like, oh, well, we got to step it up now. And like,
right.
Dude, it was rough.
I couldn't even imagine doing more than like 3 or 4.
It was
one beer at each one.
I will like, listen, I'm not going bullshit. There was a couple breweries where I took a sip of a beer and I'm like, that is plenty good. Like one of the breweries that we hit was, have you ever heard of Hoof Hearted Brewery in Columbus?
Oh yeah,
Ohio?
I know Hoof Hearted.
All right, so Hoof Hearted originally is from Marengo, right? And they used to have a spot down on 4th Street in like Italian Village. When they were up in Marengo, right? Like, I remember, like, when they were in Marengo, they did like some pretty wild ass like IPAs. They did some like really, really, really big, strong like stouts and porters.
Yeah.
For some reason, when they got down to Italian Village, they really got into like these farmhouse ales, like these really bizarre like saisons. I remember going in there and like,
Belgian.
I took a sip of one. I was like, I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. But what's funny is after we went there, our next stop after there was just down to Land Grant. So we had to run down to Land Grant. This is where I fucked that day up. We get to Land Grant, and there was a barbecue joint. There's a barbecue joint that's had a bunch of different breweries in Columbus. Really, really, really good barbecue. My dumbass got a pulled pork sandwich and tried to eat it there and drink a beer.
Oh my God.
And then still had like 13 plus miles to go up into Worthington. Like, it was dude, it was brutal. I was so uncomfortable. So anywho, this, when I saw this, that's immediately what it reminded me of. Like, just the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun.
I think the days of doing some shit like that is probably beyond me.
It's well beyond me now too. Yeah, where it should be.
It sounds fun in theory.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Taco Bell 50K. I guess this article says you have to have strong legs and a stronger stomach, and I'm sure with the brewery run, the same deal. So. All right. Well, anything else, Johnny?
I don't think so. Just again, wrap it up with one last good luck to everybody down in Florida.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
We're thinking about everybody, and
get to the daylight.
Hate to see this, but just hope everybody's safe first and foremost. property is one thing, but your life is another. So
yeah.
All our best to the Florida folks. All right. Well, we will we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks everybody for listening.
See us.